Right, so the wheel is back from the powder coating people. It took them 2 weeks to do it this time, which is a bit of a long time to have the bike off the road, but it's done now, so that's good. Yeah, they put this bit of corrugated cardboard in to mask the bore, which is okay for the centre of the bore, but there's coating on where the bearings go. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect getting the bearings back in, but I'll work that out later. This one looks to be okay, and there's no sort of masking left in there. Looks as if that was masked. But again, I'll run a tap down both of those, clean out the threads, and let the sealant that I'll use take effect properly. Okay, just run a tap down all of these. Okay, so this is the last hole. Some of them are quite sticky, but most were pretty straightforward. I think it's the grit that they've used. I don't know what that is, but I think maybe some of them picked up more grit than others. I know they're all clear now. I'll blow them out with an air gun. Right, so I did have a tap for the for this air connection somewhere, which is a weird old British thread. It's not metric certainly, whereas this one here is metric. In fact, this should fit this, I think. This is 8mm. Yeah, that needs a bit of a clean. Looks like there's some coating at the top of the thread. Probably okay further down. So these threads look to be M5. Yeah, oops, M5 I think. Aha, so here's the tap that I bought for the rear wheel, and it's 3/8 of an inch, 28 TPI, which so I don't know what thread that actually is, but it's pretty unusual. So there must be some gas thread or something, or something weird. Dates back to the birth of pneumatic wheels and tyres. Reminds me of the threads on the bottom of cameras, which are still 1/4 inch Whitworth, which just seems bizarre in this day and age, but again, it's a quirk of history. Yeah, that's good. Certainly the right tap. It's absolutely essential that this goes in square. So be careful to make sure that it does. So this is the old bearing. So I can use that to knock it down a bit further. Okay, this bearing's starting to get stuck in there now. So I've got this socket which is 3/4 Whitworth. I think just about fits inside the inner race, sorry, the outer race. feels pretty solid. So that's good. So I need the spacer next. This is not handed, I don't think it's symmetrical. This looks to be stainless steel. It's got some grease on the inside, like white lithium grease, which I guess is just for the spindle. Okay. Actually, does that fit inside there? No, it doesn't. It just leans up against the inner race. That makes sense. Yeah, it just stops the inner race from going too far. So, second new bearing. Is there something on there? No, it's just the starting. Okay, I've got it started. It's just getting it over that first stage. Again, really important to keep it square. I mean, in this case, it could actually crack the alloy. The worst other case is you can't get it back out again. Once it's crooked, you'll never get it straight. Yeah, it's catching now. Where's my... oh, it is. Don't hit it too hard because the even though I'm hitting on the outer race here, the spacer will put load on the inner race on the other side. Potentially damage the balls. No, that's hard. Yeah, that's definitely gone hard. So, yeah, looks okay. So these old bearings, I say they seem absolutely fine. So I'll keep them just in case I use them for something else. I'll never go back in the bike again, but you never know when you might need a ball bearing. This should just be virtually pushing by hand. Maybe not quite, but not far off. 10. Yeah, that feels about right. I might go to 12 over that just to satisfy my paranoia. Yeah, that'll do. It's got Loctite in anyway, so there's the valve holder. Again, a bit of gunge on that because it needs to be airtight. So valve holder, try not to scratch the coating with the spanner. Again, there's no torque setting on this that I'm aware of, so I'll just do it tight enough. It's got some loads of sealant on it, so it should be airtight. Because of course air can leak up the thread. There's a continuous path in the roots of the thread, in theory. Meanwhile, I can stick this sensor on. These are 5mm screws. So I should be polishing these screws. They polish up quite nicely because they're stainless steel. Job is only last 5 minutes. They quickly oxidize again back to this sort of grey, dull grey. I'm not really a polisher myself. So just the discs now. Okay, so these threads are all cleaned out with a tap, so that's down to the aluminium, and screws all back in. Right, put this back to its lowest setting, so I can take this down the road and get the tyre put back on. Okay, so I've got the wheel back together and tyre on it. I'll just swap this cap for the metal one. Cap is important because it does actually seal the valve. Maybe not very reliably, but it certainly slows down the air. If the valve would suddenly pop out, then the cap would potentially save you. Anyway, let's get this back on the bike. Okay, so I put some grease on the seal, put the spacer back in. Bit of grease on the axle. And on the other seal. The other seal runs on here. Just put a bit of grease on the lip of the seal as well, seeing as it's brand new. Right. Cool. This axle bolt is 30 Newton meters apparently. These clamp bolts tied into 19 Newton meters. So caliper bolts, 25 Newton meters, I think. front brake, caliper bleed, caliper mounting bolts, 38, no, I'm wrong, 38 Newton meters. Front brake caliper mounting bolts, 38 Newton meters, yep. Right. Good, I think we're all done. Okay, let's tidy up and give it a run on the road. Right, thanks for watching.